Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another live stream. This is a Wargaming and miniature live stream. I'm actually continuing to work on the tiles. If you came a couple of nights ago, I did episode 1, 2, and 3, and then tonight we should be able to start episode 4, which is when I finished flocking these last night, and I set them out overnight to dry. And now what I'm going to do is knock off the flock. That's the main thing we're going to do today. Then we're going to take a look at them, see if there's any work that needs to be done to them, or I know that I can already see a couple of them that need a little work, and we'll do that as well. Okay, but in this video we're primarily going to be clearing off the flock. Okay, so now I've got a tub right here that when I knock off the flock, it'll land into the tub right there. I think I want to do like primarily the grass ones first to open up enough room for me to put this tub up on the table. So we're just going to knock the grass ones off first. Ignore those. Now, you see me tapping it, because shaking it off isn't enough to get the extra flock off. You have to tap it to get a good, clean tile. That tile's been knocked the F off. Okay, now I'm going to set this off to the side somewhere. Back to some more just grass. This is my one trouble tile. This tile, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, looking at it from the side, I could tell it is my one trouble tile. Simple enough. Now, the reason why I call it my trouble tile, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got kind of a little bit of a warp to it, raised in the center there. Yeah, that's the only tile out of all of them that warped. I think it was the one that I put the really heavy liquid Elmer's down or something when I glued the tile down. It was excessive, probably. And that was when I used the Elmer and water mixture instead of the... Actually, I made a bunch of tiles with rubber cement, and I also did some other tiles with tacky glue, and I did some other tiles with, well, I did this tile with Elmer's and water mixture, and then I did like 2 other tiles with just straight Elmer's. So there's about 6 or 7 tiles out there that are not the spray cement. Okay, we're going to grab this guy. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Now when I set it on the cardboard, I cover like 3 corners. So it's pretty sturdy for the knocking of stuff off of it. It's not 100%, but look at that. Nice road tile. Now you might notice that I've got earth blend and earth blend and blended turf. Whew. Yeah, on one tile, mainly for the wooded areas, and I also have like a dark green flock around the edge to kind of give it just a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of definition. And then when I knock it off, of course the blended turf is going to go in there, of course, but so is the earth blend and the green, and it's basically going to create my own mixture, basically, which I don't have any problem with mixing a little bit of flock. I try to keep it mostly green, but I don't mind a little bit of extra color to it. That almost fall off. And there you go. Ta-da! Okay, we might have enough room up here to start shifting and shuffling some of these tiles. Let's do one more. Now, before I knock everything off, you can see dark green through there. That's where the liquid of the glue soaked in all of the flock, and there's nothing sitting on top of that dark green. I probably could have put the dark green or the green flock on thicker so that none of that would show up and it would be really set. But I think it's good to have a variation. If you guys watch my stream, you know what my saying is about terrain. And if you don't, well, let me tell you what it is. Terrain is not perfect. You want imperfections. Imperfections make it look more lifelike. Okay, so let's see what we can do about just moving this one out of the way. Maybe moving this one out of the way. And this one. We'll get back to these. I'm just making room to put this up on the table, just to make it easier on me. Then I can do this. There we go. I'm going to use these tubs eventually when I start knocking off the tiles that have gray and green. Okay. This is like a little 3 wooded area. Don't have to go crazy, just knock it off. See, when I hit it, it vibrates a little bit, and that should knock a lot of flock off. Yeah, that looks good. See how I dropped a little bit of the green flock on top of the earth blend? Mainly because I didn't want that earth blend to be just straight yellow. I wanted it to be kind of a two-tone. But by sprinkling it on top, the only thing that's going to stick is if any of the glue soaks through. So here we go. Yeah, it looks good. Just shaking a little bit off, you can see some of the green stuck in spots. That's awesome. And you're saying, Mr. Everything, why are you doing this inside of a plastic tub? That's some cork that got glued on there. The reason why I'm doing a plastic tub is because, like I said, when I put this over this box, I cattywomp it, curve it a little bit, and just so that it'll sit in 3 points. A little bit hangs over here, a little bit hangs over here, a little bit hangs over there. So when I shake it, there is flock that's falling in the outside of this cardboard box. And now it's at least being caught by the plastic. Am I going to reuse this flock? Hell yes. Oops, what am I doing? Okay. I must have shook this one out already. I did shake out a couple of them before I started filming. That might have been one of them. And just be aware that even though I'm working on a table, I even got my paper down, and I've got my tub ready to catch flock. Woodland Scenics flock has a tendency to be a little bit lighter than air, or any wind, like if you blow on it or any wind, it'll like take one of these numbers. And then so you'll always remember to vacuum your carpet or whatever you're using. If you're on a hardwood or something like that, be sure to clean that up because there will be flock on the ground. Whoa. That looks awesome. Still needs a little work, but as Joey says, whoa. Nice. Okay. I'm going to take a sip of my cherry limeade. Give me a second. This is exhausting. I was just thirsty. Alright, I think all the other ones have a little bit of gray on them. Okay, because of that, I've got these tubs here. One of these, this one, has the blended turf in it. Right, blended turf. That's when I take the cardboard box, put that inside the big tub. Look at all that flock that just came off of the tiles that I just did. And this turf is more than just blended. This is like a Mr. Everything blend. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay. And this is the overshake, right? That's what we'll call it. Okay. There, and that's a mix of junk. Okay. Alright, now this is going to be just a little bit tricky, and this is also an experiment. I want to see if this will work. It might or might not work. I've got another tub here that I used to have pure blended turf with no extra impurities in, but it's okay if it's a little bit like that. Actually, I can just, whatever I've got, I can just do in there. Just trying to basically empty that out. Mostly. I don't care if there's a little bit of grass in there. And then I've got blended turf. I'm going to put these side by side. I might even overlap them. No, I'm going to put them side by side. I don't care if there's a little spray in here. And then I'm going to take these tiles. Well, let's use this one initially. Let's take this one, right? I'm going to try to dump it, and I'm going to get the majority of this in there and the majority of this in there. That's the plan. But there's going to be a little mixture, a little mix-up here and there. Well, the gravel definitely wants to go first. Okay, that's cool. That grass isn't going anywhere unless I do one of these numbers. Okay. And that's what I want to try to do, is get the majority of the gravel in one tub and the majority of the green in the other tub. And then I've got my little walkway going through here. And I've got a little bit gravelly, and then I got the grass. Again, this tile's not finished. Okay, I think I shook this one out already. Yeah, it feels like I already did. There's no gravel, no grass. Okay. I think I might have already done this one as well. Okay. Just so you know, I'm going to bring this back. Just so you know, this is a transitional piece that's going to go from a gravel road to a dirt road, and I kind of did like an over sprinkle on both sides just to make it kind of look imperfect. and I did 2 of those. This one is mostly gravel and a little bit of dirt. That other one was mostly dirt and a little bit of gravel. Yep, these are all good. Okay. Now these other ones are going to be a different story because they're a lot larger. This is mostly gravel, so it's okay if almost all of it goes in the tub here. And almost none of it gets in there, that'll be fine. Now you can see there's a little bit of green in there with my gravel. That's okay. It's mostly gravel. Okay. I can start leaving these up here. Now if I remember right, I did this first and then I did that second, so the gravel might not even come off. Might have already dried. But either way, wonder if I do it this way. If I can get green on green and gravel on gravel. Okay, mostly I can do that. That's good. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. 'Cause I don't mind a little mixture. See, that's got a little mixture of both sides. Okay. All right, now these 5 here is where the trickiness comes. I'm doing an experiment. I don't know if this is actually going to work or not. You're living it with me. This part of it should already be dry, so I'm really only focusing on this part of it. The gravel definitely wants to move first. That's good. Because then I can just do gravel into the thing, mostly. And then knock the green off second. I'm okay with that. Should be every one of these should have a cobblestone path going through it. A little bit of white in there, no big deal. Not a big deal. I guess I could do it something like that, get more width if I wanted. Now the green falls off. Okay. I think that looks good. Okay, gravel's going to go first, we already know. Grass has to almost be turned upside down for it to fall off. Okay. One more time. Okay. All right, gravel. Yeah, that looks good. You can kind of see that coming together right there, don't you? Also looking sharp. Okay. Okay, all the tiles are shook off. Now, looks like the majority of this is gray. If I had like a little scoop or something, I'd scoop it up. Okay, that's about enough, as much as I want to scoop into this gray tub. That's kind of a green-gray mix. Not sure what I'll use it for, but I don't throw flock away. Okay. And this is mostly green, with a little bit of gray in it. There we go. Yeah, you never even see that gray. A little bit of it you'll see, but majority of it you won't see. Okay, now I got almost all my flock back. Almost all of it, it seems like. Okay, we don't need this anymore for now. Okay, now to seal all this flock down onto the tile. Normally I don't just leave it like that. What I do then is take a fairly heavy water, very little bit of Elmer's, and what we do is we spray all the tiles, and then let that dry, and that will seal everything together. Because then you'd get a tile like this, where everything is sealed onto the model. You know, none of that's coming off. The downside of that is I won't be able to continue step 5 until tomorrow when it dries, right? It might even be tomorrow night when it dries, because heavy water Elmer's glue mixture takes a while to dry, because you do pretty much coat the entire thing. You also have to be quick, because if you coat it slowly, the liquid in your spray will mix with the glue that's already on your tile, and it will cause it to become soft, and then stuff will be able to shift or move around, and you want to make sure you don't touch it. Once you spray it, you don't want to touch it and accidentally move any of the parts around, or any of the flock or the tape or anything. Another thing I could do, I've heard of people taking like a hairspray and spraying it on top of that. I'm not going to do that. Now, a sealer, that I might do. I might take like a clear coat, spray it with a clear coat and see if that works. But we're not going to do that tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to spray it with water and Elmer's. And that's enough water. I've got 20 fluid ounces of water in there. That should be enough to cover all these tiles. Might even be too much. Nah, we're going to leave it. Oh, wait, I'm going to be adding Elmer's to that. So, I'm thinking 15. Yeah, let me pour some of this water out. Okay, so I brought it down to about 15 fluid ounces, and then I'm going to add about 5 fluid ounces of Elmer's. And again, it's not really a measurement. I'm just kind of spitballing it. That looks about right. Nope. A little premature. I bought this Elmer's glue probably about a year ago. And I'm just now getting ready to dent it. It's down to right there. I might have to go buy another one of these. I can't believe I've used this much Elmer's over the course of 1 year. It's a lot of models. Okay, this is closed. It needs to be shake, 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 shake your booty. Now, what I normally do is do this outside. I'm gonna spray the glue outside on all these tiles, but I want you to see. I'm gonna do one in here, and then I do the rest outside. The reason why is because I'm never perfectly accurate. When I spray, glue goes everywhere. Okay, there should be a pretty good mix. It's like drinking milk. Drinking milk? Milk, milk, milk. Okay, we're not actually going to do that yet. I am mistaken. We're not doing that yet. I wanted to add a few pieces in here first. So I got some clear glue. Okay, and I want to make this stand out, so I went with some light green. Now I've got some really dark green. But that seems like it's fantastically bright. I don't know, that just seems too bright. That seems more subdued. And if you take a look at it, that's not flock. That is what's called ground scatter. It's kind of like really thick, maybe 2 or 3 millimeters of sawdust. There's a hole there. This looks. Okay, there we go. Put a little glue there. Put a little glue there. Put quite a bit of glue there. A little bit of glue there. You see what I'm doing here, right? I'm going down inside the groove. I'm going to take this and just kind of sprinkle it over the glue that I just laid out. You know what? I'm going to go crazy. Okay. Now that's not what it's going to look like once I shake it off. Okay, but this is basically I'm highlighting the road edges. We're going to do it again. This time, I'm going to go a little bit heavier. There's no wrong amount. Like the gaps and stuff, the space between. There's no wrong amount of space. You can do just a little bit, or you can do a lot. There is a rule you should live by when doing any painting or modeling. Less is more. What that basically means is don't go excessive. If you just do a little bit goes a long way, as they say. Just a little bit of highlight really makes a difference. Okay? You can see this one, I attempted to put the grass down at the same time I did the flock. It didn't really come out the way I was hoping. So we're going to fix it. And like what I'm saying is, you don't want to fill the whole ditch. You could. I feel like I don't want to do that. Now, if I was recording this and then uploading it to YouTube, this is where I would say, all right, guys, once I get all these done, then I'll be right back. And then I would edit out the dead time between the work. You can see that's kind of a little bit of a failed attempt as well. I put that green down first before I put the blended turf. And then the blended turf wound up just covering it. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Last road right here. I want to make sure I get this little curve done. A little extra there. And this is just something I just want to put out. I'm not even watching chat, by the way. You could be chatting away with me. I don't even have my chat pulled up. I'm not reading chat. I will read chat later and be able to respond to it, but not tonight. I'm not worried about chat. I'm doing this. There was something said on my last video last time. That's all the roads that I've got. There was something said on one of my last videos that I'd like to comment about. Okay, so this is one of the city tiles. This is not what I want to comment about. But, okay, before I get distracted. There is a seam right there. I think I want to put a little bit of flock in that. Not necessarily this. Remember that greeny, gravelly stuff? Okay. I'm going to use pure glue. And then I'm going to kind of swirl it around, go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit on double-sided. Just make it look a la natural. Remember this? Okay. And yes, that can be shook off immediately. Look at that. Covered that seam nice and nice. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say, I'm sorry, I got distracted by doing this terrain. There is a, wait, this is going to be town square. That's okay. There was a gentleman that popped on. I think he was just trolling me. That's all right. You can troll all you want. I'm going to ignore you. Okay, that's perfectly straight. We're going to kind of go a little bit on there, a little bit over here, a little bit over there. Yeah. He was, his comment was, you shouldn't be doing this on board games. Because I've got this, I'm streaming this on the category board games. And there's a reason why I'm doing it on board games, because bolt action. I'm doing this for bolt action. I'm not doing this as a, I like the green and gravelly mix because it makes it look like there's weeds or, you know what I mean. I'm doing this for a miniature game. I'm not doing this for this isn't really this isn't model building. That's where he wanted me to go, was model building, and I don't want to do model building. This is terrain building for miniature games, so he needs to step back. Okay, I'm just playing, but part of the issue, the next, okay, this one I've already done, but it looks like there's a little gap there, so I wanted to fill that. Plus it'll have the green grassy look to it as well. So we're just going to pat that down, pat this down a little bit. Okay. His second comment was that I was running my video at 1080p and that he couldn't view it without it buffering. So he wanted me to lower my video quality for him. And I was like, I ain't lowering my... Really? Okay. I ain't lowering my video quality just because you've got a crappy internet connection. He goes, yeah, but it's supposed to be... You're supposed to like run it at 720 for those people that have cell phones. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I ain't going to lower my quality just because you can't watch my video at full speed. You need to get better service or a better phone. There are other people out there that want it in 4K. Unfortunately, I can't go in 4K. But at least I can do 1080p. And that's another thing. If I'm streaming in 1080p, which I am now, you can turn it down. You don't have to be watching it at 1080. You can watch it, if you're on a cell phone, you can watch it at 240 if you want. Don't make me lower my quality for you. If you need to lower your quality, you lower your quality. That was my point. Because I have other people, possibly you, if you're watching now, you probably want it to be at the best quality possible so you can see what's going on. You don't want it dumbed down. These all look good. Okay. Okay, so that's a gravel repair. Okay. Yeah, I think these are all ready for the spray. Okay, so let us spray those first and all these tiles, and I'll come back and spray these. Ooh, I'm gonna run out of room. Yeah, I can see I'm gonna run out of room. Okay. Making room, making room. These don't need to be sprayed. Let's go ahead and spray this guy as the example, and then the rest will be sprayed outside. Okay, I've got it set on spray, not off or stream. spray, even though this is not really a good spray bottle. I wish I had one that had more of a spray out. Instead, this one really just kind of shoots straight with a little bit of extra. You'll see. And I'm going to do it over these, so if the spray goes out there, that'll be fine. See what I mean? That doesn't look anything like a spray. That looks like a stream to me. Doesn't it look like a stream to you? I wonder what stream does. Yeah, stream does stream as well. They both do streams. This is a water Elmer's mix. And be sure not to touch it once you start spraying it, once it starts getting wet. And it doesn't have to be 100% coat because it'll actually kind of seep down and soak in. I try to get them, okay, let's try spray. It's a little bit of a spray. Okay. Okay. It's mostly sprayed. I pay particular attention to the corners, the sides, and you can see it's kind of wet and soaking and stuff like that. Perfect. Now I'm just going to set it off to the side and let it dry. All right, now the rest of these I'm going to do outside. So if you want to take a break, go do what you're going to do, come back. That would be fine. I'm going to be going in and out. Oh, it's nice and cool out. Now I could say that if you were just doing a diorama, a model, and not gaming on it, you wouldn't need to do this step. But because players are going to be putting their grubby hands on it, and they're going to be moving figures around on it, you don't want any damage. Oh yeah, I'm not doing these until I knock that stuff off. That's right, I forgot. All right, we're cruising along. Okay, so remember I put 15 ounces of fluid and then 5 more ounces of glue. Well, I'm down to 10 ounces now, so I've already used half on that many tiles. So we'll see. We'll see how far 20 fluid ounces will get. I still got another 5, 6 tiles plus all this. Yeah, I should be able to do it. I'm praying. But yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, once I run out of spray amount, then I'll be able to calculate how many ounces it takes to do how many tiles. Right? Right. Okay, I still got like 4 more tiles. It's going to take up this amount of space here. Okay, we have half tiles. I might have to start putting the half tiles on the end because I only have 4.5 feet to work with. Right? Right. Okay. So a tile can go there. Down to about 7 ounces. I'm not going to have enough space. Okay, now I didn't spray those guys on the end. Did spray this guy. You can set this over on the other side. All right, let me spray this. About 5 ounces. All right, another thing. I got inspired to do these tiles because Sarissa was offering a tile system. But when I did a little research on that tile system, they were only 8-inch tiles. And they were wood. And there's nothing wrong with wood because that's what I'm using on as a base on the bottom of these tiles is wood. But I wanted a little more depth to the tiles. I also wanted to be able to cut into the tile, so I decided to put cork on top of wood. And so I ordered some 12-inch tiles and 12-inch wood. But I feel like this step right here that I'm doing, if it was directly on wood, it would cause it to warp. So I'm glad I'm doing the tiles this way. Okay, there's only an ounce or two left in that bottle. So we're just going to count it as this is how much it can do out of 20 ounces. So how many tiles is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so it can do 15 tiles with 20 ounces. So it's a little bit more than an ounce per tile, it looks like. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So I probably need to make about 8 to 9 more ounces. Okay. Let me go add some water to this. Okay, I went with about 8. So let's, and maybe not even 8. Let's get the air out of this thing. Yeah, maybe 8. Let's add about 2 to 3 ounces. I'm going to add a little more. Whoa. Okay. Okay, the only thing left are these two. And then all the ones that have the green, the bright green. So let's close that up. Mix it up. I'm going to go spray this outside. Now before I continue spraying, I'm going to go ahead and knock off all this green. Into that. So we'll just take this and go. There you go. Now you got like green side streets. This one's going to be a little tricky. Yeah, really enhances the way the road looks with that light green. Okay. So the only tiles left to do are those roads. So let's go ahead and do it. Take this guy outside and I'm going to spray him. Almost done. Okay, these are the two last ones. Okay. Yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to do it on live was so you could see basically just how long it does take. And don't be confused when you watch a video that's been edited and then you say, why is it taking me 2 hours when it only took that guy 30 minutes? Alright, that's all the tiles. Now, as a bonus feature, I have a couple ounces left. I want to go ahead and use these. My bridge. I flocked it, but I didn't seal it. There we go. I'm going to seal these ramps, and I'm also going to seal this floor, but I'm going to seal the floor first. Or the span, or whatever you call it. Okay. And now this ramp, the two ramps. Wait, what? I think I've already done that. It became loose and dripped. I'm not going to do that in there. Alright, I think I've already done it on this ramp now that I remember, because when I did it, it started to slide off because of the angle. So I'm going to put it up where that's flat and allow that to dry. Because I think I've already done this. My bad. Okay. Maintenance of your bottle, kind of important. If I just finished with it just like this and I just put it on the shelf and let it dry, there's Elmer's inside the nozzle and the tube and the bottle that's going to dry up and it's going to clog all the stuff up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill this bottle with water and I'm going to spray a bunch of just pure water out of the nozzle, and then I'm going to kind of clean it all up as best I can, but I'm going to spray a bunch of times. Just pure water. Warm. Some people would say warm soapy water. I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to get some warm water, put it in there, and just spray through the nozzle just to clean it off a little bit. I'll be right back. Okay, the bottle is all clean, the nozzle's all sprayed, clean. I'm going to set it off on the shelf to let it do its own thing. Okay, now this is the part where you got to be careful not to touch anything because it's soft right now. The gravel could easily be moved. Because as the glue started to soak into it, it started to loosen up all the glue. And then once the glue on the underside and the surface dry, it's going to be rock solid. But you got to let it dry. I'm going to give it, I can see there's some dry spots right there, and you can see the wetness. When that whole thing looks dry, I'm still going to give it probably another couple hours. Alright, so that's the end of episode 4. I'm probably going to do episode 5 tomorrow, where we add some finishing touches to these tiles. When I say finishing touches, I'm talking about bushes and a little bit of scrub here and there. Nothing too elaborate, but just like this hole might get filled with a bush, or down inside these cracks I might put some clump foliage or something like that. That's going to have to wait till tomorrow. When I wake up in the morning tomorrow, I'm off. I might start a stream just so you can see. Again, I upload it to YouTube as well, so you can watch these on YouTube. You don't have to watch them live. And fast forward any boring parts. Alright guys, let's let it dry, and I'll see you tomorrow.